Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Luxembourg PE&VC Stories. Today's guest will be Thomas Goergen. He's the founder of Catalpa Ventures. Welcome, Thomas.
Hi, thanks for having me.
A real pleasure. So, what can you tell us about Catalpa Ventures? Who, when, and how?
Well, I have to go a little bit back. So when I made the exit of Luxembourg Investment Solutions, we had to consider what's next, and we decided to set up a family office and started investing into startups right away. We started with fintech because it was close to us, but we also started to invest in healthtech. And I really felt that this is the purpose and what I want to do in the future. And I also found out that investing in health is not an easy one. So you always have to be careful that it fits into the payer, patient, professional triangle, so to say. And so that, after two direct investments and spending a lot of time with these portfolio companies, because also it's a multi-generational approach, so we also have part of the family in the fund now, and we decided it would be a great idea to found the first early stage purely health tech fund in Luxembourg. And what we needed was a medical person, a medical expert. It took us a while, we were quite picky, but then we found with Silke Sperling, she's a professor at the Charité in Berlin, the right partner, because she has a lot of experience in investing in startups and of course the health expertise. And that made us the decision to start with the fund. It was now roughly a year of fundraising. We are now happy to announce that we passed the 10 million threshold that we gave ourselves.
Congratulations.
And, so now we are closing, have the first closing in the coming 2 weeks. So we will close mid of November.
Looks like a very interesting story. So
It is,
family owned, but also with external complementary partners. That's great. I think you just described, let's say, your main verticals. What would be a typical type of investment you would be looking for, and how do you source those?
Yeah, maybe for the main verticals, so defining our investment thesis, we said, hey, we have to tackle the most challenges of our healthcare systems, and these are the aging society. The second one is a shortage of skilled labor force, even here in Luxembourg, it's a challenge, and the rising costs of our healthcare systems. And we said whenever we find a technical and innovative solution, it should have a digital angle that helps solving these problems, then the first box is ticked. And then of course, in terms of stage, we invest in early stage, so that means our core is on seed. Pre-seed is also possible, also Series A would be possible, but our main focus is on the seed stage. So that means there must be a product that should have also clinical or medical evidence and first traction. And beside this, we also said, because I explained that we also have to free up our professionals and to save costs for the system, we also invest into software solutions that automate the workflow within a doctor's or within a clinic.
Would you even envisage now investments into robots, AI powered?
Into robots, when it comes, for example, to surgery robots, that's too much a pure medical device. So maybe also medtech is a term that might be misleading. So we are not only investing into medical devices, but if a medical device comes with an app, with a strong digital angle, we will certainly have a look at it. And of course, because we are a VC fund, we always have to envisage the exit. And the exit horizon should be somehow plus minus 7 years. And I think that's also why we got a lot of feedback, positive feedback from our early investors to also mix software solutions, which are more workflow solutions, together with the medical applications. And I think this mixture is also kind of measure to guarantee the liquidity of the fund. We all know that this is the topic in PE and VC, and that's also why we thought, we also have an angle on the software side, and I think it's a good match.
Very promising sector. Any specific deals you would like to highlight in this context?
Well, yes, we did some warehousing deal to show our early LPs what are the type of companies we are going to invest. Maybe one which we are very proud of because this is it develops super good. It's Noah Labs. Our Silke is a cardiologist, so she knows these are medical guys from the Charité. She knows them from the early stages, also advised them. We made an early ticket and we are now considering the first real ticket with the fund. And what they are doing, they do remote patient monitoring for patients who suffer from heart failure, early heart failure. And what they do is patients can at home with wearables and also with voice, speaking into your phone, you can detect if the situation is worsening, and that also prevents you for rehospitalization 3 weeks before it happens. And that is a tremendous value because doctors can adapt the medication, people will not get into hospital when the situation is quite worse. And Noah Labs did a statistical calculation because they are already live in several German hospitals. And until today, they saved the life of 74 people. And I think that is an amazing result. And they are now filing for FDA approval in the US. So that is really a success story. And we are very proud to be part of this.
Always thrilled to hear about such success stories and also about how the future of medicine could look like. Fantastic. You mentioned before your VC healthtech funds. You also joined the LPA investment circle. So any characteristic you would like to share with our audience concerning then your latest baby?
What do you mean with characteristics?
I don't know. Are there specific elements you would like to highlight? Be it the types of investors you're looking for, and duration, etc.
Our fund, maybe from the legal setup, from the structuring, we are below threshold fund. We are an SCSP. Actually, we also tried, in the first stage, to get the EUVECA passport, but that is maybe something that also the regulator here in Luxembourg needs to think over. In Germany, for example, half of the VC funds are EUVECA funds. Here in Luxembourg, they are treated like you apply for an AFM license, at least our lawyers told us so. So it's really burdensome to launch an EUVECA fund. So
very important point, because we also have high hopes for EUVECA 2 for next year, if it will be rediscussed. We should, let's say, underline such kind of
it's a directive done for venture capitalists, and we couldn't use it because it was just too burdensome. So we started with an unregulated SCSP. Our main investors are Luxembourg entrepreneurs, family offices. We also talk to some corporates. For institutional investors, of course, a small fund, like we are aiming for 30 million for the number one fund. For institutional investors, this is too small. But family office, they well understand our investment thesis, and it's typical, I think, this journey that you start with friends and family, then a family office, and then corporates, and maybe the next fund will be then also open for institutional investors.
We are very optimistic that with the progressive success and growth, you will be able to also enlarge further the investment space.
I mean the circumstances at the moment, it's really two-sided. So we mentioned the liquidity squeeze. So to get LPs convinced to enter in a new fund really takes some effort. On the other hand, I mean, what happens around us with AI and health is one of the most underserved, digitalized industries. You have to imagine this. There's only, I think, a logistic, which is even worse. but the chances are so, it's a game changer with AI. Although I have to say, not every AI company will be successful in the health sector, because I told you it's a question how it's embedded in the whole system, and therefore you need to have expertise on this side. Sometimes I have the feeling that only the momentum is the mode of a startup in health tech, but no, it's really the times are so good for investing into new ideas, but we have to start small and then build up a track record and then start fund 2, fund 3. So it's a long-term project, and we are here in Luxembourg, because Luxembourg has this strategy also in their national strategy embedded, and that's why we set up our headquarters here in Luxembourg.
Excellent. So talking about your Luxembourg presence, how does your setup look like?
So we are a team of 5. Beside our medical doctor, we have a PhD in engineering. We have a veteran, hopefully Willie will agree with this. He is 25 years, he used to work with a well-known VC here in Luxembourg. He joins us now, and he will share all his knowledge with the next generation. We have a principal who worked in Tel Aviv for VC for the last 3 years. He is also in Tel Aviv regularly, so that is important for our deal flow as well. And it's myself, I'm more the fund management guy, entrepreneurial guy, and I think we are a very complementary team. And headquarter is in Luxembourg, Pottersberg, Grevenmacher. Silke is living in Berlin, close to the Charité. So this is how the setup looks like.
Knowing your professional past, we are eager to hear more about it. ESG, is that actually compatible with venture capital or health? And what's a bit your strategy on that?
Yes, so we are an Article 8 fund. And the social aspect, of course, is the aspect our fund fits 100%. So it's really that we try to improve the health of people, of the system, of the healthcare system, and that also aligns with our mission. Our mission is that we want to improve the health of 100 million people. Sounds a lot, but it's achievable.
High ambitions, we like that too. You mentioned before the EUVECA elements, which in the future could also kind of be very interesting in Luxembourg, also to attract more front office and also peer VCs. Any other elements you would like to share with our audience concerning the Luxembourg competitivity or our hub?
Yeah. I think the Luxembourg ecosystem offers a lot for health tech, also for the startups. I mean, we always think from the side of the startups, how is Luxembourg attractive for the startups? For example, when we talk to startup companies from Israel, they are now, because of the Trump era, they are also considering Europe. In the past, all the money came from the US, and next step was going to the US, and they are now open to consider Europe. And Luxembourg can offer a lot as a springboard for startups from outside the European Union to get into Europe. So that is one thing we like to promote also with the startup ecosystem outside of Europe. There's with Lux Innovation, with the Heal campus in the south, these are close cooperation partners of us. Also Hive, we are co-founder of Hive, this new initiative. So there are lots of LIH, we have a cooperation agreement with LIH. Personalized medicine fits 100% into our investment thesis. So there's a close collaboration with these institutions. Also, startups can do their clinical studies here in Luxembourg that also fits into the other European countries. So there are a lot of advantages, but it's still early stage. So we won't be able to fill our fund, 15 investments, with only Luxembourg startups. But
sense.
there are a couple we think they are interesting. There's also some work still to do. What I, for example, don't get is that telemedicine is forbidden in Luxembourg. They opened it up during the COVID times, but now it's forbidden, it's closed. I mean, a lot of innovations fall under this legal framework, so Luxembourg really should open this up.
As an optimist, I'm persuaded that you will try to, to convince people and build also then some kind of proof of concept.
Yeah, and there's another thing. When we started our first plans to set up a VC, we had a round table with all the players, and we mentioned that there's no notified body. A notified body is the institution to get a medical device approved under the MDR, the medical device regulation. And it would be a huge chance to have Luxembourg having a notified body. In Germany, it takes startups close to 18 months to get approval. They go now to the Netherlands because they are fast. They should come to Luxembourg because it's the fastest place to get it.
Thanks for this great idea, Thomas.
So we mentioned this 2 years ago, and everybody seems to know, but nothing has happened on this side. So these are the small things why I have to say that the ecosystem, it's still in the build-up phase, but I'm very optimistic that we'll get there.
Excellent. And since it's a priority of Luxembourg also really to kind of further develop the whole kind of medical or health industry or sector, completely would make sense. Fantastic. I see that you're very inspired. So young group with great ideas.
No,
all right.
It's for me. I mean, it's the new challenge now, and I'm 100% convinced that it will be a huge success.
Super. Let's now move to a little bit more personal part of the interview, as you can imagine. So, dear Thomas, what have you studied in the past? Where did you start your career and finally land in investment funds and now as a VC and entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think I'm a typical case for this border region here. So I'm born and raised in Trier. Studied business in Trier and the US, made my PhD in finance, and then my first job was in the fund industry, of course. And so it was mutual fund, ADIC Investment, the first mutual fund company in Germany. It then went into Cominvest, then we have been acquired by Allianz Global Investors. Then I got some money off the table and set up Luxembourg Investment Solutions, which was a pioneer in third-party AIFM.
Yes.
And it was a great access to a stock-listed company. And then the rest, I told you, set up the family office, and now the VC is the next challenge to come.
A very nice achievement. And now from your own perspective, what would be the type of advice you would like to give to the next gen, to either young entrepreneurs, motivated people who would like to change the world? So.
Yeah, I think it's important that you feel entrepreneurship. You can study it, you can work with the startup. Better is you set up something on your own, even if you fail. I think it gives you a lot of experience and the right mindset, because if you want to invest into startups, you have to have the same mindset. You have to find out whether the chemistry and the founder team is the right one, which is extremely important in my point of view. So that would be great. So if you have some real life experience in entrepreneurship, so to say, of course, a good education, a technical, a business background would be perfect. And most important, you need to be passionate what you're doing.
And that we hear a lot. We love that.
And
yes.
I think it's. I don't want to now phrase some Gen XYZ.
Yeah, for sure not.
But I think if you wake up in the morning, you must be passionate in what you do in that same day, and you need to be motivated intrinsically to do it, and not wait until somebody around you motivates you. So that's for me a main qualification to be successful in VC PE. you name it.
Completely share this value. This is really fantastic motor, and also with this energy and appreciation to really kind of go and discuss with other people and build things. That's great. You mentioned also kind of learning also by failing. Usually, since you have also studied in the US, you have there an acceptance in the US, which is kind of perceiving that as a great experience to reuse and also apply later on for new adventures. In Europe, it's more complicated. Sometimes sounds like crucifixion. So what's a little bit your take on that?
Yeah, I think this is also changing because the younger generation, I would say the start-uppers, it's quite on vogue. So to set up your own company, when I talk to my son, he studied in one of these business schools where entrepreneurship is very, very important. And in the past, everyone wants to start with Goldman Sachs or this investment banking.
Okay, still, yes.
And now it's a lot of these young guys are now keen to set up something on their own. So I think with the time, and these guys also fail, of course they also fail, but I think because the industry is also getting more mature, I mean, we see how mature is this industry. So I think time will come and people will realize that also failing gives you some tremendous experience, and you shouldn't do the same mistakes a lot of times. Maybe you do it twice, but not a lot of times. You should have some learnings out of this. And I also failed in some business decisions, and I didn't regret it.
We usually refer to the entrepreneurs or the modern rock stars. So that would also fit a little bit what you just explained. Just a quick last one. Any book, podcast, series you would like to kind of recommend?
If you are able to listen to a German podcast, the Peter Thiel story, I recently heard. It's, I think, Deutschlandfunk recorded it. So it's really... you should be prepared that you will think about this podcast a couple of nights afterwards, because it shows how politics in US are building up. So that was really had a deep impression on me.
Great reference, by the way, yes.
And in terms of podcasts, so when I commute, I still live on the German side of the border. The OMR podcast is a very good one. You have a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, and they speak very open about their experiences. So this would be one tips I could give.
Wow, what a ride, this interview. Thanks a lot, Thomas, for sharing all your insights. It was really a pleasure. We wish you lots of success for the future and say goodbye and see you soon.
Thank you.